Yes. So in the bowl games that we deal with, we're working with players, right? But she's not reached out to them. I'll let you know whenever that happens, how we know. Right, right. Well, maybe now we're close to football season. That's a good way to put it. Messy, right?
So I'm glad to have you join me. And the first question I think that anybody has to ask is how do you get to start this season?
I've got a question to watch. Well, I decided to move to Florida when I was 17. Brought in my recruiting horizon. And I got a good amount of offers. This was one of them playing the year.
Yeah, thank you.
Blake, I know you still got a couple weeks before the season starts, but from your perspective, what's the big difference between SEC defenses and Big 12 defenses from what you've seen?
I mean, for me, it's hard to tell just because I'm not getting hit at practice. So, I can't tell. I'll be able to tell you that during the season. But in both conferences, they can play. You got players in both conferences that are really good and stout players. So, it's going to be fun playing against the best of the best because the SEC. And we're all excited for this year because I think we're going to do some good things.
Are there any major schematic differences defensively between the conferences that you've noticed?
Big 12, they do a lot of different things. I mean, I feel like in the SEC, they're going to press you up more. They're going to man you up. They're going to test who you got on your team, skill-wise, more than the Big 12 would. But we run a different type of defense that you would see in the Big 12 a good bit, so I've been able to face that as a different defense. It's a hard. Jackson actually hung out a pretty good bit, so good dude.
What was it like? I guess getting to pick their mind some about his offense, and then just what were your impressions of Jackson?
Yeah, no, I mean he's a good dude. He's a great player. Obviously, he's still young. Has a lot of years ahead of him playing football. I feel like.
Did you guys get a chance to kind of like just discuss like, hey, you were in the Big 12 last year, now you're both entering the SEC together this first year?
We didn't really talk about that much. We talked more about the offense and Coach Levy and all that.
Yeah, Coach Lay, he's obviously a first-time head coach, right? I think he's still going to be calm.
Guys, tough game for you guys. Remember anything
absolutely.
about that? Anything why maybe that was things didn't go right that day?
Really just, I mean, not a whole lot went right that we expected to that year, so that's all I got to say. It was just another game that we wish we could get back.
And then after that, both coaches get fired. Looks like it was the first time that ever happened. How was that week after that then?
It was hard, but Coach Knox, another coach on our staff, really stepped up. So I was impressed that he's able to at least make us go out swinging.
What about playing A&M again?
And how are you doing? Like,
No, it's great.
you winning? Are you like
Yeah,
a good
yeah,
player? Are
yeah.
you like taking other guys to school here? Or?
I mean, I don't play the game a lot, but I'm good at it. I know the concepts of it. So
How's everybody adjusted to the new coaching staff? What's your take on Coach Levy? I know he's an offensive guy, or an offensive
Yeah, I
coach, I
love
should
Coach
say.
Levy.
Yeah.
Coach, we all love Coach Levy and Coach Hutz. Like it's like a family. It's more than football now. It's everybody's close. It's not just a one-sided thing. It's like Levy talks to everyone. He is an offensive mind. Like he have an offensive mind, but it's everybody love Levy and Hutz. So at the end of the day, it's life. So I mean, if it was easy, everybody would be here. So I mean, my grandmother always told me if it's hard, just think of something and get through it. Because at the end of the day, it's gonna get better in the long run. And I feel like you can't go don't try to go look for something. Everybody got a different path. But now Percy's a great player. Call him my cousin. His last name Lewis.
Why did you stay?
Why did I stay?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously a lot of guys you got the ability to leave.
I mean,
Congratulations.
thanks.
What's your son's name, if you don't mind?
Jace.
Jace, J-A-C-E? And what was your brother's name?
Tyrese Hoskin.
You mind T-Y-R-E-C-E?
No.
Okay. You mind spelling it?
I'll say you.
Okay.
T-Y-R-E-S-E.
Okay. Okay. Well, I was only off one letter. And so you said Huskins?
Yes, sir.
A tough week for you guys then after that as well. I mean, you guys went through a lot.
Yeah, it was rough.
Having to be Coach Levy and the offense that he runs, I've played a lot of college football, so I'm excited.
What was his pitch to you?
It's funny because he didn't have to pitch it, anything to me. I've seen what he did also, but very smart. Has taught me a lot about coverages and how to see him and how it relates to certain plays and how to read your plays and different things like that. He's had a huge impact on my learning curve.
I'm sure you've answered.
Hey, how are you?
Dawn, yes.
Joel Cole. Good to see you.
Hey, Dawn Davenport. Good to see you.
Apple Breeze.
I like this.
I'm sorry.
So I got this, and then I got that.
I hold. Whatever you need me to hold, man.
All right. Did they tell you we're in Nashville? Nashville, yep.
Recent sports. What is it like to play in that game?
It's amazing. You're in a stadium that's a neutral site, split right down the middle, 50-50. Half of it is, I think they call it crimson and cream. That's what they're calling it. But half is burnt orange.
Yeah.
And it's just this really interesting dynamic where on one end of the field you have your people, and you see the other crew. On the other end, you're in their territory, but you can see your crew. And so it's this awesome atmosphere, great dynamic, and a great game to be playing.
Years have made lots of experience. Yes. Why Mississippi State? Is it the Levy time with Baylor? Like, how did all that work?
So for me, I didn't have a relationship with
Okay.
Levy. So I got to witness playing against OU, playing against the offense, everything about it is quarterback training. You want to be a part of that. Any quarterback out there.
got in the pool, I knew that we were about to be a big coach. Like that's a big misconception about the offense. You got to run the football or you don't run the football. Obviously, it's making plays down the field, stretching the field.
The MTV house, we got an update on it. I think Kale switched rooms because of Curtis's absence. He got out of the media room and just looked like a graduate coffin fit. So, I heard some things in the middle of the night that I'm not very comfortable with, but I can't confirm it because of the dream or reality. Jeff Levy is joining us now, the head coach at Mississippi State. Suit looks good.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's excellent. Tell us about what's been going on in Starkville. You took over, hit the ground running, and had to do some recruiting and all that. So, how do you feel about the team?
I feel good. I think you look at it, we're 7 months into this thing.
And it's going to be a fun year, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Last question, man. So, being a quarterback, if you did a Mount Rushmore with 4 quarterbacks, who would you put on your Mount Rushmore for your 4 quarterbacks?
In the NFL?
Yeah, college NFL, you can
I'll do
mix it.
NFL.
Yeah.
I go Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. That was that 4 or 3?
That was 3, one more.
3? All right. This is tough. I mean, you got to go Aaron Rodgers because he's Aaron Rodgers.
I love it, man. Blake, well, congratulations.
Tyron Smith, a lot of people pay attention to O-line, but as an O-lineman, of course, I got to give credit to the big fellas.
Oh, man, so I got to ask you then, you've been a tackle, if you did your Mount Rushmore, 4 tackles that you would put on your Mount Rushmore, who would have 4?
Definitely him, Joe Thomas, undoubtedly, Anthony Minot, probably Lane Johnson.
That's a nasty for all Hall of Famers.
Oh, can I add a 5th one?
Add a 5th one.
Willie Anderson, for sure.
There we go.
Yeah.
College football 20.
You were just telling Matt off camera that today is, in a word, long. Well said, Blake. Well said. What's the craziest question you've been asked so far?
I haven't got too many crazy ones. I think earlier there was one to the team. Let's go. Let's go. So, you're left field, you've got the field. You know what you have to do.
To becoming a guy who coaches quarterbacks, who coaches backs, and devises this offense. It does seem like there are more former alignments that are becoming kind of that which I love to see, because they actually care about who's blocking it.
That's right. I've said this, but I think for me, being able to learn the game front to back instead of back to front is a huge advantage. To me, it creates answers for the test, and to be able to help put guys in positions of success, and that to me is the biggest part of coaching.
I was talking to Blake Shapen earlier.
Close to back in spring. No, I saw Blake. I didn't need a quarterback. I needed him. Like, he's the guy. What about Blake Shapen? You think that you said, hand it to him?
Yeah, for us, it does when we're watching quarterbacks. What I mean by that is not just a quarterback. He's got this incredible amount of skills. He's got to live it and go through it. And have an opportunity to go play the way we want to play.
Being able to speak to you, being a guy from Evangel, and when you went to school, you went to Baylor. Baylor was coached by Dave Miranda. And I'll get to this season, but if I could ask, like, what drew you to coach Miranda and Baylor?
Yeah, so I think it was weird because his personality. His personality was a lot different. He's very down, calm, everything about him.
What's been the biggest challenge this year?
I think just how constant it is when we're talking about 120 staff. For me, wanting to be so connected, atmosphere is one inside the building. That means you got to know people. That means from a time standpoint, it's incredible. That's part of it. I think it's probably surprised me when you know how constant it is. Feel great about where we're at.
everybody, I didn't understand how to do it. I want you to do it. Tell me about your offense. You're back to the Southeast.
He goes outside of Small County. They probably say he has to be the MVP. I could he heard from Mike prior to that weekend. And as they were scouting the Badgers, he was most not coaching his own team shot. I think that was so shocking.
They've been there that long, giving their longest view. I asked Blake Shapen, what's the one thing, I try to just want to win games. I mean, to win the game. He says, understanding that, both like life,
we're better together. We talk about it. We say that as a program, as a unit, we are all better together. We need to understand this great connection that we have with our football team.
Great to be here. There's 2 points of intimidation. I'm looking around all these cameras.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Who are documenting this thing in 16 different ways. There were fewer cameras to check exit velocities and runs than baseball. Checking those 2 points.
So before we get into it, okay, I want to give everybody a little explanation of how this is. So you introduce the coaches. Every coach comes up, you introduce them to the things that he wants to do. But I think the biggest challenge is to get off to a good start, to develop some confidence, so that commitment to him continues to grow and develop with the team. Secondly, the quarterback always needs to play well, and I think Jalen Newell is very capable. And the third thing is they do have some issues on defense, which is mostly in the secondary, with a lot of new people and young people. So how those things work out will be the challenges that he has early on in the season.
He's really done an amazing job, I think, endearing himself to the players. And as a player, I experienced a coaching change. Luckily enough for me, it was a really good coaching change, and I'm glad it worked out the way it did. But I do think that there's a certain amount of time that must kind of exist before you really are able to completely follow the guy that's in front of you. These players now have options. They could have been in the portal, they didn't. They opted to stick around. They've now gotten to know Kalen DeBoer. And I think he's done a good job of keeping things relatively familiar. He's won everywhere he's been, like Pete's referenced, and like you referenced, Victoria. But he didn't come in and say, hey, out with the old, in with the new. He really kept a lot of the same off-season practices in place while implementing some of his own philosophies a little bit at a time. So I think that's been easier on the players, which should allow for a lot of comfort